Hey guys, I'm Yash Menon and welcome to the second lesson for Music with Motive on teaching you how to learn guitar in 7 hours or less. So today we're going to be taking a look at some basic chords, some a little tougher, but I will be showing you other ways to play some of them so that you can get them under your belt. We're going to be taking a look at mostly major chords in this video, and in the upcoming videos we're going to be taking a look at minor chords, triads, and other shapes. So before we get started with the chords, I'm going to be showing you a couple ways that we can identify where we are on the guitar. So the first thing I'm going to do is talk about the strings. And now we're going to start at the bottom at the highest string, which is the E string. And that would be our first string. And going up, we'd count the rest. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I'm going to be constantly referring to the strings as first string, second string, third string throughout the video, and this is just to help you identify where I might be saying so you don't get confused. So if I say first string, I'm talking about the bottommost string. If I say fourth string, I'm talking about 1, 2, 3, the fourth string right here. And now I'm also going to be referring to different frets, and the way we count the frets is going to be going up, starting from the bottom of the neck all the way to the top. So we count this as the first, second, third, fourth, fifth fret going on, and these metal rods right here are going to separate them. That's what we'd consider a fret. So if I say first fret, I'm talking about right here. If I say fifth fret, that's talking up here. And the way we can count them even is on most guitars they should be inlays. For mine there are bats, or on the top of the guitar there may be dots to help us count. So now I'm going to be talking about the different chords that we're going to be playing today. However, there are a ton of chords that are available to learn, but I'm going to be primarily focusing on the main major chords that are essential for every guitar player to know. So the first chord we're going to look at is the A chord. Now the A chord can be played using this chart right here, and first I'm going to show you guys how to read the chart. So the numbers on the chart represent the numbers as our fingers. So our index finger would be 1, middle finger would be 2, ring finger is 3, and pinky is 4. So this chord can be played using your pinky. However, this is the second lesson. I wouldn't expect even myself to be able to use my pinky on the second day of possibly picking up the guitar. So the way I'm going to play it is, instead of using my, as you can see there's a 4 on the chart, I'd use my ring finger instead. And I'm going to be playing each note on each string, just plucking it so you can hear it by ear to make sure you're playing the right note in the chord. So let's get started. So the first note of our chord is on the second string, and it's going to be on the second fret. So that's going to sound like this. It is right here, and now we're going to add our next note in the chord, which is going to be with my middle finger, and it's going to be one string above that, and it's also on the second fret, and it's going to make this sound. So together that's, and the last note I'm going to add is with my index finger, and that's going to be on the next string above the third string, so the fourth string, and that is going to be on the second fret. And now if you notice, they're all on the second fret. They are just going down each string. And now to play the chord, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the fifth string with my pick, and I'm going to be strumming downward. And now you should hear each of the notes ringing out very clearly. And now let's play it together one time. Feel free to pause the video at any time if I'm going too fast or you want to maybe redo the chord, but I'm going to play it one more time and feel free to play along. And I'm going to strum through it this time as if I was playing a song, just one strum. So 3, 2, 1. So that's how it should sound. So So the next chord we're going to take a look at is the B chord, and the B chord can be played starting at the 2nd fret of the 5th string with our index finger. So that's finger number 1 if you're referring to the chart right here. And that's going to sound like this. And now on the 4th string, 4th fret, we're going to put our middle finger on there. So together that'll sound like this, but on its own, the 4th string, 4th fret will sound like this. And then the next note we're going to add is with our ring finger. We're going to be adding the 4th fret of the G string, which is the 3rd string. And that'll sound like this. So the next one we're going to add is with our pinky, and that is going to be right here on the 4th fret of the B string. And that's going to sound like this. And now the last thing we're going to do, and this may be a little challenging at first, but what we're going to do is bar this whole 2nd fret down, which means playing all these notes at the same time. So together, what that should sound like is like this. Now this is quite challenging to get at first, as you are having to bar this whole thing down, and what that does is, instead of it sounding something like this, you're now adding those notes in the front to get the B chord. So now let's play it one time together, and then I'm going to show you another way to play the B chord. Now if you're having trouble grasping the chord, feel free to pause the video, or I'm going to be showing you another way to play it right now. So the one way that you can play it, which I'll put another picture of it right here, is using what's called a power chord. And this is using the root note B, which is on the 2nd fret of the 5th string. And you're going to be having the 5th note in that scale. And where that's coming from is you have the root, and then you have the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th note. And that's why it'd be called a B5 chord. So now what we're going to do is take the 2nd fret of the 5th string, and that's with our index finger, and the ring finger is going to go on the 4th fret of the 4th string. And together we'll play only those 2 strings. And that's what it should sound like. So the next chord I'm going to be showing you guys how to play is the C chord. The C chord is going to start with the 5th string, 3rd fret, and that's going to sound like this. And the next note we're going to add on is on the 4th string, 2nd fret, and that's going to sound like this. And the last note that we're going to add is with our index finger on the 2nd string, 1st fret. And if you notice, I'm starting to play the chord at the 5th string. I rest my pick there, and that's where I'm going to strum the chord from. I'm not starting all the way at the top, as the E string is not used at all in this chord. So now I'm going to be talking about the D chord. The D chord can be played by taking this time we're going to start at the bottom. We're going to build the chord starting with our 2nd most finger, which is our middle finger, on the chord chart to my left, or to my right. It's going to be right here on the 2nd fret of the 1st string, and it's going to sound like this. And now the next finger we're going to use is our ring finger. We're going to be putting it on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. And the last finger we're going to use is our index finger, which is going to be going on the 3rd string, 2nd fret. So together that should sound like this, and we're going to start at the 4th string and play downward. And I'm going to play each note very slowly so you can hear each of the notes ringing together. So now that are all the individual notes that you're going to be playing in this chord. Now let's play it together one time, just holding the chord and playing each note. So ready? So now the next chord we're going to be talking about is the E chord, and the way we're going to play it is with the second fret, with our middle finger on the second fret of the A string, which is the 5th string. That's going to sound like this. And now the next note we're going to play is with the ring finger, which is the 3 on the chart to my right, on the 4th string, 2nd fret. And now the last note we're going to add is with our index finger, and that's going to be on the 1st fret of the 3rd string. And for this chord, what we're going to do is just strum right through all the strings at once, starting at the top. And it should have a nice full open sound, and that's how we're going to play it. So now, feel free to pause it and take a look at how I'm playing it. And now I'm going to be playing it along with you guys. So let's play together one time. So the next chord we're going to be playing is the F chord. And the way we're going to start off this chord is with the 1st finger on the 1st fret of the 6th string, which is the topmost string, and it'll sound like this. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take our ring finger, which is the 3rd finger, and place it on the 3rd fret of the 5th string. And now we're going to be adding the pinky finger on the 3rd fret of the 4th string, and that's going to sound like this. And now what we're going to do is with our index finger, we're going to bar the whole thing down for the 1st fret. And now the last one we're going to add is our middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, which should sound like this. And we're going to play that all together. So this is one way to play the chord shape, and let's play together one time before I show you another way to play it. So the next way I'm going to be showing you is going to be to the right side of me, is the way I learned how to play, which will sound a little different in terms of not having the lower registered notes in there, but it will still have the higher octave and be the same chord shape. And I'm going to be displaying that right here. And the way we're going to be playing that is, instead of barring down the whole 1st fret, which may seem tough at first, we're going to only be barring down the 1st string 1st fret and the 2nd string 1st fret, so it should sound like this together. And we're going to be adding notes 3rd string 2nd fret, and that should sound like this. And then we're going to be adding with our ring finger the 3rd fret of the 4th string. So all together, we're going to be starting at the 4th string, and it should sound like this. Now this is a lot easier to play compared to this. So it's just another way for you guys to play it. So the last and final chord we're going to be taking a look at is the G chord. Now this chord is a very nice open chord that you can use in a lot of strumming. And the way we're going to start it is going to be with our ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. And that's going to sound like this. And now what we're going to do is add our middle finger, so finger number 2, on the 3rd fret of the 6th string. And if you you notice, these are actually the same note, just a different octave. And now the final note we're going to add is our index finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th string. And for this chord, we're just going to strum right on through from the top, and I'm going to slowly go down note by note, and feel free to follow along this time through. If you need to pause the video right now, take a look to my right at the picture or on my hand, feel free. Thanks so much for clicking on the video. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below on what you thought of the video, what I need to work on. Always open to suggestions and feedback. In my next video, I'm going to be talking about the notes on the 1st string, so stay tuned for that.